Okay, so you made a mistake at work, a real one, not a missed email, not a typo, something that people noticed, something that changed how you're seen. And now you're stuck trying to recover, apologizing, over-explaining, working harder than usual, hoping that people will trust you again. But here's the part that most people miss. The mistake isn't what damages your credibility. How you try to recover from it is. And once you see that, the entire recovery process changes. Most professionals think that recovery is about effort. Apologize more, work longer, over-deliver, prove that you've changed. But that behavior doesn't rebuild trust. It signals uncertainty. Because trust isn't rebuilt through anxiety-driven performance. It's rebuilt through pattern change under observation. And when you don't understand that, you don't just slow the recovery. You quietly make the credibility gap wider. To understand why, we have to separate two things that most people treat as the same problem. After the mistake, there are two separate issues, and most people try to collapse them into one. First, the mistake itself. That's operational, finite, fixable. Second, perception damage. Whether people believe that the mistake will happen again. Whether they trust your judgment moving forward. Here's the critical point. Perception damage rarely comes from the mistake itself. It comes from how that mistake was handled. People remember whether you owned it cleanly, whether you stayed grounded, whether you knew how to move forward, if you panicked, over-explained, deflected, or made it emotional. That becomes the story. And if you repeat that same pattern during recovery, you reinforce the doubt instead of replacing it. This is where most people accidentally make things worse. After a mistake, the pressure sets in. People are watching, you feel exposed, so people try to naturally speed up the trust rebuild. They apologize again, they explain again, they volunteer for extra work, they monitor reactions, and every one of those behaviors backfires. Repeated apologies shows that you don't know how to close the loop. A strong apology happens once. Clean, specific, finished. Over-explaining keeps the mistake alive. You're reminding people of the error instead of letting new behavior replace it. Overperforming looks like compensation, not competence. And reaction monitoring, like are we good, is the opposite of authority. Authority doesn't ask for permission to move forward. It just moves forward. So what does a clean recovery actually look like? Strong professionals don't try to fix perception. They fix the cause and then they operate normally again. Step 1, acknowledge once, cleanly, no emotional spillover, no justifications. I missed the deadline. It caused extra work and delayed the decision. That's on me. Then you stop talking. Step 2, identify what actually broke. Not your reputation, the system, the judgment, the process. Capacity misread, missed dependency, failure to escalate. That's what gets corrected. Step 3, change the behavior quietly. You don't announce growth. You demonstrate it. Better questions, earlier escalation. Clearer commitments. Consistency replaces memory. Step 4, operate under observation without the theatrics. This is where people get uncomfortable. You don't rush it. You don't ask for reassurance. You don't perform. You deliver again and again. And over time, that new pattern becomes the story. There's one more decision that people get wrong here, and it determines whether recovery feels clean or awkward. Here's the rule. If the mistake damaged a specific relationship, you address it once, directly. Hey, I know I put you in a tough spot. I've changed how I manage X. You'll see it moving forward. Then you stop revisiting it. If the mistake damaged your overall credibility, you don't address it verbally. You let 6 months of clean execution speak for itself. Mixing these up slows recovery. One turns operational issues emotional. The other makes silence look avoidant. Strong professionals know which one they're dealing with. Now let's talk about why this feels harder than it sounds. This approach requires three things that most people resist: being watched without reassurance, tolerating distrust that you can't immediately fix, separating "I made a mistake" from "I am incompetent." You did make an error, that's true, but insecurity doesn't rebuild trust. Calm, grounded execution does. You have to hold both at the same time. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I am capable. And let behavior prove the second part. This is where recovery becomes less about repair and more about who you are as a professional. This approach is for people who made a real mistake and own it, want to recover without groveling, understand that trust is rebuilt in pattern, not performance. It's not for the people who want a shortcut or a script to erase consequences. If you made a mistake that mattered, you don't erase it. You replace it with a new pattern over time through consistency. Authority isn't about never making mistakes. It's about knowing how to recover without begging for trust back. If this reframed how you think about recovery, share it with someone stuck in the apology loop, and hit subscribe to Power Moves at Work and join the Power Moves family.